What's up, traders? It's Vincent giving you an update on this weekly forex forecast of VinnBoss Signal Factory. Now, with that being said, traders, the most important thing to watch today on the market is the dollar reaction on non-farm payrolls on Friday. So, with that being said, traders, before we get to the market analysis, as always, I would like to mention the fact that we are running a limited promotion for the real account traders community, only for the first 200 people to register you and fund. Now, those people will not have to fund $100 only for the month of November. They would only have to fund $20 to begin with, and that is it. So with that being said, it is only for the month of November, and we are running a limited promotion for the month of November. So with that being said, traders, what I would like for us to see, let's get straight to the market and let me explain. For this pair, we are closer to the weekly low, which means we closed the week with the strength to the downside. So with that being said, traders, what I would like to see is, if we do not get the first pullback to our supply zone, the first supply zone and the second supply zone, what I would like to see is continuation to the downside with this currency pair, and then a pullback to come and retest this last week's low, and then look for selling opportunities to continue to the downside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. This would be a perfect setup only if we do not get any pullbacks to that. But what I do expect again is to go to the first demand zone or supply zone right here that we have at 1.1576. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities or bearish patterns and formations to continue to make the new low of this week, which is right below 1.1521. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities right here at the supply zone. I repeat again, just in case you are right in the same supply zones and watching these key levels right here on YouTube, it is 1.1576. Now, with that being said, this is the first supply zone to look for bearish patterns and formations. We do have the second place to look for bearish patterns and formations, which is the second supply zone right here. This would be 1.1618. And with that being said, traders, this is also a great place to look for bearish patterns and formations to go down and take out structure right here at 1.1521. This would be a great place. Either the NFP might come, either the market might come and not break like 50 pips away from this, and then start pulling back deeper into these levels during the NFP signals, and then when the NFP come out, then employment beat the expectations, and then we see this rally to the downside. But overall, we are structured to the downside. Now, because this is forex trading, we have to be, of course, prepared for every scenario in the market. Now, let's just for a moment know that this plan does not work. We have now breaking above or reached our weekly break of structure right here at 1.1668. After reaching this weekly break of structure, a pullback, of course, will be imminent to retest this weekly break of structure at 1.1668 to do the change of structure, and now we will be buying this pair. The only time I will be looking for buying opportunities in this currency pair is when I will be reaching this or breaking above this weekly break of structure at 1.1668. This would be a great place to look for buying opportunities to the upside if we go straight through this weekly break of structure. But if we do not reach if we do not break through the weekly break of structure, instead after the reach of this we come down, I believe the supply zone, which is this here at 1.1618, the second supply zone will become our first demand zone going to the upside, we will still be looking for buying opportunities, given the fact that we would have reached our weekly break of structure right here at 1.1668. These levels are important levels to watch during the week, even though on a daily basis I will be here monitoring, helping traders to see how wave by wave the market is unfolding and how to react to each market condition. So with that being said, traders, this would be a great place to look for buying opportunities to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. Remember, always when we do this 1:3 risk to reward ratio is through the continuation or through the break of structure on the weekly time frame. So you have to be prepared. So someone would say, how can you give us 4 different possibilities that might happen during this week? It is because I am prepared to make money in all the situation, and I'm staying calm so that I understand. So if you're not if this confuses you for the first time you're watching this video, please make sure that you go back and you back test what we've been saying week in and week out every week, so that you can understand that why we are using so many possibilities and how it happens and how we adapt to the market condition. And also, the euro and the pound is back on the watch list this week, so we are now analyzing the full currency pairs. So with that being said, traders, this is the euro and the dollar for us. And with that being said, we are now going to analyze the pound and the dollar. So traders, with the pound and the dollar, I would like to mention a very simple line right here, that is the daily buy sub or the daily demand zone, but we are now structured to the downside right here on the weekly time frame or on the weekly candle, as you can see it. But from this level right here, we are expecting momentum to go to the upside, even though we will still be looking for selling opportunities from this first supply zone at 1.3245 and the second supply zone at 1.3291. Now with that being said, the only time this would be valid, traders, the only time this buy momentum from this level of 1.3139 would be a valid buy to the upside is if we break out from the weekly break of structure level right here at 1.3369. Then with that being said, this would have signaled or showed that we are now structured to the upside. And with that being said, traders, to the upside, this means that we might just come and retest this right before the NFP and then get a pullback to retest this supply zone here, which will now turn into demand, of course, at 1.3291. And with that being said, traders, buying opportunities will be imminent to the upside, of course, to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. This pair will be highly influenced by the non-farm payrolls on Friday. So I think there will be minimum movement during the week, but what can we say? We will also follow the plan up until it finishes. So with that being said, traders, let me firstly repeat this. What I do expect is to see this come to the first supply zone here at 1.3245 and then look for selling opportunities to the downside to take out structure right here at 1.3096. This would be a great place to look for taking profit. This would be a great place to look for first selling opportunities. And with that being said, the second place that we will be looking for selling opportunities, of course, is from this level of 1.3291. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities or bearish patterns and formations to continue to the downside to take out structure right here at the same target at 1.3096. Now this would be a fantastic place to take out profit from either of these, but we will only be looking for buying opportunities next week only if we do go above this weekly break of structure at 1.3369. So traders, with that being said, this is the euro, the pound, and this is the pound and the dollar. So without wasting further time, let me remind you again. Joining VinnBoss Signal Factory is very simple and easy. Now, how do you join? Firstly, you register your trading account with our exclusive XNS link, and then you verify your account details. Now, since we are running a limited promotion for 200 people to join, you can fund the minimum of $20 and more, and then send proof of registration to admin at 06806053332 so that you can be added on the free Telegram group, or rather not the free Telegram group, but you can be added on the real account traders community on Telegram or on WhatsApp. You can choose to be on both, or you can choose to be on either of those depending on which app you are using the most. Both applications get the same signals at the same time. None is being delayed or the other one is being favored more. So with that being said, traders, this is how you are joining the real account traders community. So with that being said, back to the charts, traders. Still looking for selling opportunities on this currency pair. So right now, let's go over to the pound, the euro, and the Canadian dollar. Not the pound, but rather the euro and the Canadian dollar. And traders, with the euro and the Canadian dollar, what we do have, it's very similar to both the currency pairs that we've just explained with you guys, which is the euro and the dollar and the pound and the dollar. We are closer to the daily demand zone, of course, and we are still looking for selling opportunities from this first supply zone at 1.6235. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities to the downside and to take structure or to take profit right here at 1.6139. Now, this would be the first place to look for selling opportunities, of course, and this would be the second supply zone, or the second place to look for bearish patterns and formations to look for selling opportunities to the downside. Now, traders, I'm not ruling out the possibility of a possible reversal going into next week. Now, if we do come and reach this level of the weekly break of structure right here at 1.6324, this would be a great place to look for buying opportunities right at the second supply zone. This would be the first demand zone though at 1.6267. This would be a great place to look for buying opportunities to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio setup. This buy opportunity will only be taken if we do reach this weekly break of structure in all the currency pairs at the same time, or this would be taken into consideration only if we break above the weekly break of structure. A pullback will most likely be imminent, and look for buying opportunities to also make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. The reason why I'm only looking for buying opportunities above the weekly break of structure and not right here at the daily demand zone on this currency pairs is I am not only going after what I see on the daily. It has to be confirmed first on the smaller time frames, and then on the daily time frame, when it gets confirmed also, this means that everything else will align. My smaller time frames and my bigger time frames will align. That this means that on the weekly time frame we will be buying, on the daily time frame we will be buying, on the 4-hour time frame we will be buying, and on the 30 minutes time frame we will be buying. But as long as on the 30 minutes time frame we are still looking for selling opportunities, and on the 4-hour time frame we are still looking for selling opportunities, even though on the daily and on the weekly time frame, the weekly time frame we are still selling, but the daily looks like we are about to go to the upside. So this means only 3 share the same idea, but only one is giving out a different signal. So we would like to see them all align in one buyer's direction, which will be the buy or the sell. But for now, all these three are now following the analysis of selling. That is why we are still bearish to the downside or biased to the downside, and we are not looking for any buying opportunities, not unless those two scenarios have happened that we have just mentioned right here on the market. So traders, with that being said, that is those possibilities, and there's other possibilities also. There are possibilities that we might not only go up in a buy or in pullback, but the continuation to go to the downside to break below this new low from last week, which is 1.6139, and then get a pullback to retest this previous low at 1.6139 to continue, and then look for bearish patterns and formations to continue to go to the downside and take out structure to confirm that 1:3 risk to reward ratio, as this would be a bearish continuation trade. So we will only be taking 1:3 risk to reward ratio. And that is it from the euro and the Canadian dollar. Let's go over to the other currency pair, which is the euro or the pound and the Canadian dollar. So let's go and see what the pound and the Canadian dollar have in store for us going into next week, with the week of the 3rd of November to the 7th of November. And traders, with the pound and the Canadian dollar, what we do have is very simple and direct to the market. What we want to see is a pullback to reach out to the first supply zone at 1.8534. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities to the downside to take out structure. Of course, this would be the first to take out structure at 1.8321. Now, with that being said, traders, this would also be a great place to look for selling opportunities right here at the second supply zone to go down and take out profit right here at 1.8321. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities and to look for taking profit. Now, with that being said, traders, if this do not play out as correlation always plays out in the markets are correlated. Nothing is ever random in the markets. So if those three currency pairs that I've mentioned, their daily demand zones do hold, and we see a change in the break of structure, of course, this is exactly what I would like to see going forward in the market. If we do reach this weekly break of structure right here at 1.8701, this would be a pullback that will be imminent to test the supply zone, which will now turn into the demand zone and continue to the upside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. So this would be the first scenario where we will be looking for the buying opportunities, of course. The second scenario, of course, will be if we do break above this weekly break of structure at 1.8701, and then look for buying opportunities to continue to the upside, because a pullback will be imminent after the break to the upside. A pullback will be imminent, then we will be looking for buying opportunities right where the weekly break of structure was, to look for buying opportunities or bullish patterns and formations to go to the top side and make that also 1:3 risk to reward ratio. This is the pound and the Canadian dollar for us going into next week, from the week of the 3rd of November to the 7th of November. And also this pair will be influenced by the non-farm payrolls, but I don't think it will be as influenced as the euro and the pound versus the dollar on that day. So without wasting further time, traders, let's go straight to the euro and the pound currency pair. Remember, it's back. It has never been traded for the past 2 or 3 weeks because of the consolidation that was happening, and I did mention that I would like to rule it out. So this is why most of you have to join the real account traders community, because of you are missing out on fantastic setup like gold and other signals. And with that being said, traders, that's why you should join. Just imagine if four currency pairs were not in alignment with what we were trading, and I will not upload any videos based on those currency pairs, then analyze only two of the free YouTube watch list forex analysis. This would mean that you will only be focusing on two with the highest precision of trading. And with that being said, other people on the real account traders community, they'll be making money with gold, silver, and other currency pairs that we do not mention here, like the pound and the Japanese yen, the euro and the Japanese yen. I'm talking about the Australian dollar and the Japanese yen, the US dollar, Japanese yen. I'm talking about the Australian dollar and the dollar, the US dollar, Swiss franc, other currency pairs that we do not discuss here. So with that being said, traders, it is important right now to get your seat. Only 200 seat left from starting from Monday, and then you will be funding the minimum of 20 or more dollars to fund your trading account to start joining the real account traders community. So with that being said, beautiful traders, let's go straight to the euro and the pound. So traders, we are back with the euro and the pound this week. And with that being said, traders, we are now looking for buying opportunities from this level to continue to the upside, because remember, this was the levels that the market kept struggling from to pass, which was the daily supply zone right here. We kept discussing this. Let me just zoom out so that we can get the clear picture of what we are talking about. Now, for a couple of times we have been retesting this level, of course, here, 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 and here, and we have been struggling to go to the upside. And after the struggle to go to the upside, we are finally above this. That is why we are now structured to the upside. We are buying the euro more than we are buying the pound. So with that being said, traders, this is what to expect going into this week. It's either from the beginning of Monday, the opening of the market, we will start looking for or finding buying opportunities that gets us to this level of 0.8817, or a continued pullback to the first demand zone is 0.8774, and then the second demand zone is 0.8757. This would also be a great place to look for bullish patterns and formations to continue to the upside to take out structure right here at 0.8817. Now traders, I would like to mention something here. Remember, this is the level that we needed to break through or to break above from. So since we have broken above from, either the second demand zone or this level will hold and be a great place to look for buying opportunities to the upside, because right here we have the daily, I do mean we have the daily demand zone, because remember, it was the daily supply zone and it has now turned into the demand zone after the break above. Now with this pullback coming in, this would be a fantastic place to look for buying opportunities to take out structure right here at 0.8818, or make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio with this currency pair. So traders, this is what the euro and the pound going into the week of the 3rd to the 7th of November 2025. This is the analysis. The only time, of course, I'll be looking for selling opportunities is if we do break below here, and the break below here and a pullback to retest this as the supply zone. The daily supply zone will hold if we break below it at 0.8742. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities only if we have broken below the weekly break of structure at 0.8719 right here, and then the continuation to the downside will be imminent as soon as we break below this, or if we do touch this and then come and retest this. So traders, that is it from us. Let's go to the US dollar and the Canadian dollar to analyze and see what it has in store for us going into next week. And last but not least, last week we did have this signal from our real account traders community. Last week, as everybody was obvious, I did not post any video here on YouTube. We were busy welcoming new people. That's why we were able to come up with the promotion, because we've got more people from last week now. And with that being said, traders, let me just show you before analyzing what to expect. This is the analysis of next week, and this was the signal. Of course, 1:11.46. This is the signal that we did have, and the original signal that was taken on a MetaTrader was this one. And as you can see that it was 1,414 US dollars, and it was 1,754. So these are the signals that we do take, the real life signals, and this is the analysis. So traders, make sure it is $20 for you to fund. Make sure you do not miss any of this. So without wasting further time, let's go straight to the trading markets and understand and analyze what to expect. So traders, what do I expect from this? Before anything else, this trade can be going up to reach this level right here, or the daily target, which is 1.4079. This is a fantastic target to take profit from. So with that being said, let me zoom out and give you what to expect going into this week before we get to the daily target. I do expect to see a pullback to come and retest this demand zone here at 1.3976. This would be a great place to look for buying opportunities to continue to the upside, to take out profit right here to make the new high from last week at 1.4034. This would be a fantastic place to look for. This will, of course, would be the first place to look for buying opportunities. But if we do get a deeper pullback, this would be a great place to look for a continuation to the upside, of course, from the second demand zone right here at 1.3954. This would be the second demand zone to look for buying opportunities, of course, and take out structure right here at 1.4034. Now, this signal was taken only because of, let me just go back and help you guys understand and why we did take this signal, right? After reaching this demand zone of the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, after reaching this demand zone, there was a sharp reversal to the upside, which made a daily candle that looked like this, that looked like a shooting star. So with that being said, or a pin bar, with that being said, this automatically gave us that the following day we will be structured to the upside. So we waited for the correct buying setups or buying opportunities to continue to make this run to the upside. So that's what happened, and that is why we were waiting from Monday, Tuesday, and since I was welcoming a lot of people, I was not able to cover these videos during the week. But also I'm back. I will be analyzing this video every single day. So traders, without wasting much time, I would like for you to like and subscribe to this video so that you do not miss any of these videos, so that you do not miss any trading signals, of course, when they are uploaded right here on YouTube, so that you can have plenty of time to watch before the market unfold and have an understanding of what to expect. So traders, that is it from me, Vincent Mokotedi. I am enough with explaining now. So what do I have to do? I have to prepare for Monday, of course, and welcome a few people on the Telegram channel and the WhatsApp group, because some people prefer the WhatsApp group over the Telegram channel. So with that being said, thanks and happy trading from me. See you on Monday analyzing the video of the Monday daily Forex analysis.